Hello. N8 workflow automation tool using Docker. Let's see. So all the information is there in the self-hosted N8N documentation. So I'm going to use the various types of installation of N8N. The first one is for local development. You can use npm plus node.js. You can also use for isolated environment, and it is easy to update if you use Docker. So for this, you need a Docker installed on your system. And I'll show you 2-3 methods installation of N8N. So the first method is a one-line Docker N8N command for testing purposes. So in this one, we're going to use Docker, and the command is this one. So let's dissect this command. So we're going to use Docker, and we're going to use this image called docker n8n io/n8n io/n8n. This is the image that we're going to use, and we're going to run it using run command in an interactive mode. And after we close this n8n session, it is going to be removed automatically. If we don't want this to be removed automatically, we can actually remove this tag of rm, and also I'm going to give a name this N8N session called N8N, and it will be running on port 5678, and I'm going to use this -v, that's volume command, where I'm going to persistence volume of this N8N database at N8N underscore data volume. We'll see this volume later on, and this will be connected to the home directory inside the N8N image, which will be at /home/node and .n8n. Let's run this command. This one command, what it is going to do is it is going to download this image, and it is going to create a volume named n8n underscore data, and give it a name called n8n and run it on port 5678. Let's see what happens. So there is no local docker.n8n.io/n8n n8n latest image locally. So it is pulling this N8N latest image from the Docker website. This is going to be a little bit longer, but we'll just watch it. So it's going to download all these layers of Docker image, and then it is going to run it on port 5678. So this is mainly used for just testing purpose for local development to run some of your workflows. If you want to do a production, then we'll have to use another method. Let's see. So it's going to download the last layer of the N8N image. Let's see. I'm actually running this on a virtual box with only a 3 GB of memory. That's why it is very slow, and also my virtual image hard disk is very less. Let's see. I think this is the last layer. extracting 4s. In the meanwhile, check what all it is downloaded. So it's not yet downloaded the complete image because it is not yet downloaded. See any sources of the container. See images. Let me just stop it for a while. Come back. Okay, it's finished downloading all the images. There's one image and it is extracting and migrating. So you can see that image is around 2.47 GB, and I think the container which is running on 5678 with the name N8N, and this is the name of the container, that is 730, and still running these things. So we can actually go and check our N8N installed on port 5678. Let's go to browser, type closed 678. Okay, so we have our running N8N on our Docker on a local environment. So it's saying that okay, everything is done and it's available on close 5678. I can press O to open in browser, but I already opened it in the browser. So now we can just give any email ID and then register. And let's okay, it's one. Oh, you can see that it is saying that owner was set up these things. See, it's happening. Voila. So we have running an item here. You can fill in these things. Myself 20. Let's get started. Okay, so this is a free version. If you want the paid version, which can get you something like advanced debugging, folders, exception, search, tagline, I think folders is an interesting feature to have. So for that, to pay license key. We don't want folder and you want to put it in one folder there outside the folder, so we can just skip, start using. So this will be the front page of the N8N thing. From here you can build our workflows, and let's check for a template. It's very simple template from here. Learn N8N with steps template. So I can just copy this JSON, create a workflow from here. And it will be import from file. So if we download this somewhere, so let's N8N 6.yml is this one, I think. To demo, and I can import home demo. Right. Workflow that you can do. So this one, see. So we can execute to get something like this. Get inspirational code from the internet and see the results. So what it did was when I click this, click execute, it went to internet. Is Zencode's API random. It got a random code, which is everything will be slow here because it's on a Docker on a virtual box. Right, let's see what happened. Let's click again. So it executed. It get inspirational code from the internet. Yes, it is getting it. It should show the result. Old result here. Okay, so this is one of the way of local testing of N8N. So the idea of this video is to just show you how to install N8N on Docker, not to show you how to use N8N. For that, you have to look at the files or the work documentation. Okay, let's go back and check what all is running. So we have N8N container is running. N8N underscore data volume is running. Then images is just 2.45 GB. Okay, so now we can just stop this. Okay, so now we can also stop. What it did was, since we didn't use -d, so it just gave you a thing. Let's use ITD. Okay, if you want to run one more N8N, N8N2 on port number B, oops, 5678, 5679. So it's going to run another instance of N8N. See, should get another N8, N2. So using -a, we know that the first N8N was exited, second N8N was started on 38. So this is going to give us another instance. So like this, you can use multiple instances. So this is available in 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and then let's close this one and we don't have any running instance of an, but all of them are stopped. So this is one way of running local N8N on Docker. So the second version is production setup with Docker Compose. So we will see how it is installed. So before that, there is also another version, which is this thing where you can set up a environment variables, that is your time zone, your volume. I also mentioned if there is something problem with the Docker container, it'll restart unless stopped. So this is another method of doing it. So you can also create your own unique volumes. Like for example, this one, we have Docker volume ls, we have N8N underscore data. Instead of that, and create my N8N data. So now there are two volumes. So we can use this command now to run this, but we'll have to change the volume name to my N8N data, and then it's going to create another instance. See, all right, because another instance of N8N here, the name N8N. So we'll have to change that name to my N8N. So now run it. It's going to create own my N8N instance on 5678, and this is connected my N8N volume. So how do we check that? So you can check that saying docker inspect my N8N and if you go here somewhere volume, something here. Yeah, so this is connected to my volume. That is my N8N data at this source, that is /lib docker volume. So this is another way of running local Docker. So in this one, N8N just gets deleted or removed. This one, it has persistence because we have created a volume. You kill the container, the volume will be there, and you can connect from your database to the Docker run. And the third version would be using Docker Compose, which is one command only. So you create all these things in one file and then you can run it. So for that, let's remove all these images and containers, everything. For that, we're going to use something called as a Docker system boom, and it's all. So this is going to stop all the containers and then all networks removed, and all images without at least one container is also removed, and all cache is removed. So it is like a total destruction. So it's going to delete everything. Let's see what is. All right, that we need to stop this A67 and then run this. Deleted the container. Going to remove all the networks, the images, which is around 2 GB. So this command, that is docker system prune -a. So it has deleted my N8N Docker image and all the cache and the container. So if we check now, so nothing is up. So I think even the volume may be gone. So let's also remove RM and okay, there's nothing available. Yeah, nothing is running. So we're going to use this Docker Compose version method. So for that, we make a new directory called N8N Docker. We get into N8N Docker and we create a docker compose.yml, and we're going to put this all these things into that docker compose YAML. All right, let's make this make directory mkdir docker compose N8N, get into that, create something called docker-compose ML, and inside that, so we're going to put this so tilia. So let's understand it's there. So this is around 59 line code. Let's see what's happening here. So we need to run few services, that is N8N service, and then a Postgres image for putting our database. For that, it is going to image. It's going to use the image Postgres 15 Alpine. So we say that you restate always, and environment variables are set here: Postgres user, Postgres password, and the Postgres DB name. and it's going to create a volume called Postgres data. And after everything is done, it's going to give us a shell command. Whereas Postgres is ready at this username, this Postgres DB every 10 seconds, and timeout will be 5 seconds, and it's going to retry for 5 seconds, 5 times. And the second service is N8N, and it's going to download again the same Docker N8N image, also restart always, and this time it's going to be up to P5678 port on all the environment variables for the database. That is, DB type is Postgres DB, which comes from there, and port will be 543C, database, username, password, and the security will be N8N encryption key, this variable. Then it's going to create an instance setting for N8N host.N8N host.5678, and the web URL. All these things are about the time zone, the generic time zone. If you want, you can click for insert your own time zone. So it's going to run all these things, and it's going to connect to the volume at N8N data and inside the container at /home node N8N, and all these things will be this local files within this thing. So say that this is dependent on our Postgres database and going to create 2 volumes. So for this, we also need to insert our N8N encryption key, which you can create using this OpenSSL N8N. Sorry, OpenSSL random X key 32 digit. So you can just copy this, come here, and insert yeah, save this, close this. Then we need to create a environment variable, an invisible file, and put all our DB there, which should be inside this one, which will be one.env. Let's insert our environment variable. So Postgres user name is N8N. You can put anything that you like, and Postgres password will be secure database. It's your, I think let's keep this one. And the encryption key would be this one. Let's this. All right, so what happened to our environment variable password? I think we forgot to, should have kept it here. Encryption key. All right, what was that? Mistake here. All right, we just copy paste this one. This is the placeholder for the key, so we should not change anything here. Go back, and then we just run docker-compose up -d. When you do docker-compose up -d, it's going to pull the two images, that is Postgres, Docker N8N, and we can check for the what's happening. Docker compose. So nothing is happening yet. You can use this to check all these logs, Docker compose logs, up to date one. See, all right. It's gonna take a while because we deleted everything. So we Docker compose this our logs. Still nothing is happening because obviously first it has to download all the images and then run the two processes or two services. Then only we'll see something when we run docker compose logs or docker compose ps. Right, let's wait for it. Maybe I'm gonna pause the video, then come back. All right, so it's pull the Postgres 15 Alpine. It is pulled Docker N8N. It has created a network. It has created two volumes, and it has created two containers, and they are healthy. And it has started. The Docker Compose is started, so we can just check now. Docker Compose PS should be two of the containers, which is the first one is this one, which is called as N8N. Wait, let's do like this. So this Docker Compose N8N from this image, and the name is N8N, created 20 seconds ago, and it is running at 5678. This is connected to Postgres 15 Alpine, and this is LC, and both of them are connected via 5432. So now if I type Docker, yes, same two things are there. Now if I say compose logs, yeah, so it has done a lot of this stuff. Let's see whether see anything happen. Say docker logs minus f. So it's available at 5678. All right. So before that, let's see how volumes it has created. It's created two, one for the data, one for the Postgres. Let's see the images it has. It has two images, one a little one, Alpine Postgres, where all the database is there, and the larger Docker N8N. And also let's see how network it's created. So it has created this Docker Compose N8N default. These two are connected to this network bridge. And those are the stuff at the moment which it has created. And let's see whether it's available on N8N. So we'll just remove this one. Let's check again. 5678. We should get a new login and station window. Yep. So the new registration window is there, so we can just use whatever we put previously, password. Now we should be there in the first screen without any thing. Let's just give all these things for N8N and skip. Oh, we have our fresh N8N installed using Docker Compose. So we can create a new workflow. Add a step, trigger manually, and error transformation. Can do some filtering, all those things. So you know how to do those things after you install this thing. Or you can just go here and import from the demo that saved, which will be Docker Basics YML. Right, the same three. So that's how you do N8N installation using Docker. So I also just mentioned here these two commands. This is to just remove all the instances of Docker images, volumes, etc., and bring back your Docker to original status so that once you're playing around, so you don't have any extra space that has been huge Docker images and Docker processes. So now we are inside this N8N compose underscore N8N, and we created this using Docker compose file. And then if you want to modify anything, like you don't like 15 Alpine, you can go something else. If you want to change your Postgres user password and DBs, so you don't change anything here. And if you don't want 5678, you can just change to 5679. And all the environment variable be inside this secret file, which is where you put your username, password, DB, encryption key, localhost. You can put the IP number when you host it on your cloud. Also, protocol is only HTTP now, so you can change to HTTPS later on, getting some of the documents. And then now we know that it is running. So now how do we stop? You can use Docker Compose down, and it is going to stop, remove everything. One command, so we don't need to do much. So it also remove all the commands. So except the images. The images are just there, but the volume is still there. It has not been run. So you go here and then check for the service. It's gone. So now I want to bring it back. Just come to this folder where you saved your Docker Compose. You just say Docker Compose up st. That's it. It creates a network container, volume, everything. Because volume is already there, so it's going to just create a container, and it'll be faster because it doesn't need to download heavy images. So now we check Docker PS. So 13 seconds ago, we say Docker Compose PS2, and F, the database is ready to accept connections. So now back and refresh again. nothing is there because I think it's still, yeah, license cert is not initialized. That's fine. Still running some of these things. So once that is ready, discover for cluster checks. So yeah, now it's available. Now we click now 5678. So we should get our first workflow. That is N8N basics. It was created 4 minutes ago. It's still there because this N8N basics workflow is saved in our Docker volume. And once we stop our Docker compose, so the data did not vanish. It is still there in these two volumes. All right. What about this place to this would be the N8N GitHub. Please go here and you can, so it's there. So, you know, there's, all right, if you want to do it on a local machine without Docker, use npx, install npx, Node.js, and just run npx N8N. That's the fastest way. Or deploy using Docker, create volume, run it. And there are, once you make this run, there are like 1,500 plus integrations that you can play around by going here and connecting all these things like core, webhooks, human review, triggers, and ChatGPT. So there is like millions of options to test it out. So first try to learn how to install it and then play around a bit. Should be able to do it. Thank you very much for listening to my experiments with N8N and Docker. I know I'm very sorry that my volumes virtual machine is very slow and small, but we need to be patient to do these experiments and try to learn a lot. Thank you very much.